Hey everyone, this is Sin and welcome back to my channel Stampin' Munchkins. Today is another installment of my Brutus Monroe design team project, and here it is on the screen. I really love how this turned out. I hope you like it too. Let's go! These are the Brutus Monroe products, Seeds of Happiness stamp set. Everything will be linked below as usual. This is the Bunches of Love stamp set, Alabaster embossing powder, Alabaster white embossing powder, Raven black, Chroma mist in cobalt blue and lilac, Squeaky clean, and these mini cubes come in a set of 4. Wonderful ink pads. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be stamping on vellum using the Seeds of Happiness. It's a little stamp. I haven't used it, so I'm conditioning it using my microfiber cloth. Going to be using my Alabaster white pigment ink from Brutus Monroe to ink it because I want it to be a white. So I'm using this instead of a clear embossing ink and getting a good image on the vellum, and it's perfect. So now I have my Alabaster white in this container because I use it so often. Brutus Monroe has the best embossing powders. And before I stamped it, I used the powder tool. And now I'm using, because sometimes the pigment ink is hard to clean off. That jelly bean sniffing cleaner is just awesome. So now I want to watercolor using the Chroma mist. And I'm hoping that it works. So I'm just using my, I'm just putting some on the side, but it's not enough. So I will be adding more, a lot more. And I have a bottle of water on the side to dilute it so that it moves good. And I'm coloring on the back side of the vellum, not on top of what I embossed. So on the back side. And I'm just laying color on. You know, it's not beautiful, but it does the trick. So now I'm going to be doing the same thing on watercolor cardstock, and same thing, Alabaster white ink pad, Alabaster white detail embossing powder, and I'm going to heat it using my heat gun. And I'm going to show it, but it's hard to show because it's white on white. And you probably noticed that the vellum was super warped, but there's a trick for it later. And this is in real time. I'm showing you how it's melting. I have my heat gun heating on the side for about a minute to get it super hot. And it's hard to see, but you can see that it's getting shiny, so you know that it's melted. So after that, I do the back side to try and make it not so warped, but you can see how shiny it is. And I use a Swiffer cloth after it's been sitting for about a minute, and I wipe it off so that the powder tool comes off. And I'm doing the same thing. I'm using the Chroma mist in lilac and cobalt blue and just adding color onto the watercolor panel just over the inked and stamped image. And I'm just going to dry it. I have 2 settings, and I'm using the lower setting to just dry it. I don't want to melt the embossing powder, but I just want to dry the paint. So I really love how it turned out. Love these colors, and I'm just adding more where I need it to go for a little more depth. And then I just keep futzing with it until I like how it is, so you can see. And now I wanted some splatter, so I'm using the same colors splattering, and I'm using a white paint to splatter. And you can see that when this dried, the vellum dried, it is a lot flatter, but it's still warped. So I'll do a little trick. And now I splattered it, but it was too soft, so I'm going direct from the bottle using the nozzle. And again, the white. So I'm using the purple, blue, and white. Now I'm going to fussy cut it all out, and I'm showing you that it is still warped. So I put it through my Gemini Junior, um, and it flattened it out quite a bit. And now I put it through my Xyron maker to put adhesive on the back of the vellum so it wouldn't show through. And I put foam on the back of the watercolored panel so that I can layer it onto my little panel here, which I just cut to um, using a layered die. And the vellum is stuck straight onto the card panel, and the watercolored panel is on top. And I'm just using this stamp set because I love the size of the sentiments, and I auditioned which one I wanted to use, and I'm using thank you in that little corner. Well, not corner, but so anyway, I'm adding it on, I'm layering it so that it has some dimension and that it's not as, it takes care of the warpage situation and making sure everything is there. And I was like, oh, it's just too white. So I'm going to put it in my splatter box, and I'm going to splatter it with Black Soot Distress oxide ink. And I just did that, wasn't coming out, so I added more water. Again, added more water, and now it finally is splattering. So I used a Post-it note to protect the stamped for area. And now I'm just going to attach it to my card base, top folding card base, using my liquid glue. And it still wasn't enough, so I'm adding some blue jewels, and I'm just putting 5. I like odd numbers, so 3, a stack of 3. And then I was having a hard time with my jewel picker, so I come in with my tweezers instead, which is so much better, easier. And then those 2 on the bottom, and that finishes my card. I really love how this turned out. It looks super simple, but it has a lot of depth and dimension, as you can hopefully see. But again, I really like how it turned out. Here's some close-ups of the card, and these stamp sets are so amazing, and they're small, but they're really, really beautiful. Here's another video you might enjoy, and a card making playlist. And as always, please click on my face to subscribe. Thanks everyone, and I hope you come every Wednesday to see my Brutus Monroe Inspiration Team projects. Thanks everyone. Aloha!